Hey guys, welcome to Taste This TV. I'm Chef Joe Seminary. You know, we got a great show for you here today. When you think of the American staple food, especially at ball games, what do you think of? Hot dogs, right? Maybe some popcorn. How about a chili dog? Well, up in today's show, we're going to be working with Sahlens hot dogs, which is definitely my favorite treat. But we're going to reinvent the whole gameplay food time in America. We're going to take these dogs and we're going to be doing some special stuff with them, including my killer chili sauce, a couple of other variations you might see at some favorite baseball games. I mean, let's face it, if you're a fan like me, I've been to baseball games all over the United States, and they get very creative with their hot dogs. Coming up next, the hot dog show you're not going to want to miss, combined with your favorite ball game. Hey guys, so we're here. We're ready to get started on grilling these hot dogs, Sahlens hot dogs, and they're really only best on the grill. However, they're skinless, you can boil. But what we're going to be using today are two different kinds. We have their original, and this is their beef, and then we're going to be using their original pork and beef. Now, I know people are going to ask me, which one do you like best? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to single out one or the other because to me, they both taste delicious. I say the more pork, the more flavor. I mean, that's just me, but I do like a good old beef dog too. So you really can't go wrong with those two. As far as grilling, this is definitely an excellent hot dog, and you want to get a char on it. Those hot dogs have been sitting out for about an hour and a half, and when I mean sitting out, I mean at room temperature, because you never want to put a cold hot dog on the grill. You want to let it, at room temperature, and then just put it on there and char that baby up. And then you're going to end up with a nice, crispy, flavorful hot dog that you could really appreciate. America's favorite game, right? We're talking about baseball. We're talking about hot dogs. So we got a couple of things coming up here for you today. I'm going to be making my classic chili dog. My chili dog's a little bit different. You know, when I make a chili dog, I don't just drizzle chili on the top of the dog. I put the chili, I put the cheddar cheese, and I bake it with the bun. I sort of bake it together. Let all those flavors soak up and let that cheese melt nicely into the oven, and then you have a real crispy bun. So it's kind of like it's got a gooey center with the chili, and it's flavorful with the dog. So chili goes great with this. And I'm going to do a couple of great things coming up as well that are going to be fun and easy to do. So don't go anywhere. Taste this. We got the dogs down. You know, there is a little bit of a different color. That's how you really can tell the difference between the pork and the beef and just the plain beef. The pork and the beef are going to be a little bit lighter in color. And again, you know when a hot dog is done. It's got that sizzle on the side of the end there, and when you turn them over, man, that's what I'm talking about. That is the start of a char. Now we got about another 5 sides of that to go. That's kind of my calculations. Usually it takes 5 sides of this to make it worth its while. Now I could remember a couple of places where I went to a ball game that the dogs were just incredible. Chicago is definitely one of them. I always loved Yankee Stadium. I felt like they did a great job with that. But you know, a lot of them, you know, are just kind of rolled on that kind of heated coil there that I can't stand either. But there are some places that actually grill their dog. I know you come to like New York City or something like that, you'll find that everybody likes their hot dogs boiled. But I am not one of those people. See that crust on there? That's what I like. I like snapping into that with some mustard. And talking about what mustard we like to use, You know, today I'm working with this jalapeno stuff, jalapeno mustard. Now, you got to keep your eyes on these things, you know? Kind of turn them when they need to be. It's like frying. And you got to kind of go a little bit at a time, feel it out. What we're going to do is we're going to assemble the chili inside, and we're going to kind of leave our hot dogs resting on the side over here. Because what we're going to do as well is bake it. It's a very unique way of doing a chili dog. I haven't seen too many people do this ever. So we're going to take our dogs off. And then what we're going to do is put them in the actual bread with the chili on top, and of course cheddar cheese, because if it ain't cheddar, it ain't right. And then we're going to bake it in the oven. And that's the magic with this stuff. You have to bake it, and then it's going to be so flavorful combined with this hot dog. This could be the new Sahlens favorite. This could be the new favorite. Stay tuned. So now we're going to get started on this incredible chili. We'll go over the ingredients step by step, and you, my friends, at the end of the day, will be chili masters. Let's go over the spices first. Now we have a 21 spice. This 21 spice is very, very popular in Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. And the 21 spices are like dry oregano, dried onion powder, salt, pepper, anise, and stuff like that. So find a 21 spice. They basically, if you really look into it, they're all the same. They all have the same ingredients made by the same manufacturer, so don't worry about not picking up the right one. Next, we have the black pepper. This is all 1 teaspoon, folks. We got some black pepper there. Then we got 2 teaspoons of coffee grinds. Coffee grinds add an incredible aromatic flavor to the chili. It also helps change the color dramatically as well. And then we have some smoked paprika. You can use regular paprika. I've found over the years that the smokiness goes really good, especially with the Sahlens hot dogs, because it's a smoked dog. And then over here we have our salt. We have a half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder. Now the cinnamon powder really brings out the flavor, and a lot of people don't even know what it is in there. It just brings out a very unique flavor profile. It really adds to the dish. And then we have here this whole row, which is 2 tablespoons of chili powder. One of the most important ingredients here in our spice rack. And this is really all you need. I mean, you don't need much here else to get started. These are my basic ingredients that I use. Of course, I'm going to throw a little tomato sauce in there as well to help change the texture and the color, but I do not add any thickeners in my stuff. I just cook down. Now, look, some chili has beans, some doesn't have beans, but if you're going to be using beans, make sure you use the red ones, because the red ones are really traditional in the chili making recipe. Next, we go to our ground beef. I'm using bison today. Any cut of beef is going to be good. This is ground beef, and you're going to need that for this dish. So let's get started on cutting some onions first. We're going to saute that and then gradually add everything in. All right, so now we're going to get started cutting an onion. We're going to dice this baby up. And the thing is with chili is you don't want big onions. You want them very small. You want to be able to taste everything in here as well. We're not looking for a big slice of onion. We're looking for just a small piece. I believe the right technique would be a brunoise, basically, which would have to be really small. So we're going to, you're going to have to test your knife skills now. We're going to go as thin as we can. Always make sure when you are cutting to take your fingers like this and go right onto the whatever it is you're cutting, and then go this way. We're going to dice this as well. That's kind of what you're looking for. The good thing about an onion is it sort of just dices it up for you, minces all of it up. So we're going to brunoise, we're going to go down again. And this might look like a lot of onions in the chili, but to be honest with you, after it cooks down, it's going to help in the sweet texture. I watch a lot of chili recipes over the years. I've had a lot of chili where they add sugar. I don't add one bit of sugar into my chili at all. What I do is I cook down the onions, and the caramelization from the onions is what's really going to make this dish nice and sweet. And you could use shallots too. I hear a lot of people over the years ask me, does it matter if it's shallots or regular onions? No, it doesn't at all. I got this one from, just check out Low Tech Sales, and they'll put your embroidery on just about anything. All right, this is looking good. And you see how it's starting to get nice and brown? We've still got a little ways to go. We don't want crunchy onions in the chili. We're going to deglaze and we're going to white wine. This is going to help get the residual flavors from the pan back up. It's going to aid in the sweetness of this dish as well. Okay, next we're going to add our meat. You want to use a high quality, maybe 90% lean beef. Don't buy the cheapest one in the store because it only means you're going to get less meat and more fat. At least not for this dish, especially not for hamburgers. So continue to let that cook down, and then we're going to hit it with a little bit of tomato sauce as well. And I should mention that copper pots do heat up quickly. They're great conductors of heat. A lot of people don't buy them because they're expensive. But I can tell you that, especially this quality right here, this brand, Falk, #1. Next, we're going to add a cup of tomato sauce of your choice. Add the tomato sauce in there, let it cook down. Now we're going to lower this down to half flame. We're going to add our beans. Now, you want to use the canned beans, otherwise you got to boil the beans separately, you know? So don't think you're going to add hard beans in here and cook them for 3 hours. A lot of people don't like beans in chili. To be honest with you, I like it. I like the texture, I like the flavor, I like to think I'm eating with something a little healthy in this dish. So it works out. And let it simmer. I'm going to let this simmer for about 45 minutes after I put all these spices in that you already know what they all are. So, I tell you, once you add that coffee and cinnamon, it takes this to a whole nother level. Now watch what it does to the color of this. See how much darker this got already? Cook down for about 45 minutes, come back to it, and assemble the hot dogs. Okay, now the next step in this dish is an important type of cheddar cheese, right? You have to have a aged cheddar cheese. Okay, can you get one at the store that's not aged? I'm telling you, you're not gonna have the same flavor. Now normally, if I wasn't using these incredible hot dogs here, I would be chunking this up, big chunks, and throwing it in the chili and just let it sit there till it gets to room temperature, and then I would eat the chili. I wouldn't eat it hot, and you'd get an unbelievable flavor. So what we're gonna do is real simple. We're just gonna slice thin pieces. You could use a cheese knife if you want. You could use a chef's knife, and you just want to get thin, slices of this. Now, if you go to the deli, they're not going to have this kind. So you gotta deal with cutting this a little bit, because if you want the really good flavor, it only comes in a reserve type of brick like this. And what we're going to actually do, and I'm going to show you in a moment, we're going to take this and put it in between the hot dogs, and this is going to really nicely underneath the dog, up against the bread. And when these things come out, they're going to be the most delicious thing you ever had in your life. There's definitely a science here on all the products that we're using today, folks. Okay? And maybe one more is going to do it. Next, we're going to take our buns, and what I like to do is line them up like this, because believe me, 2 pieces like this, folks, is enough, because this cheese is seriously sharp. So you don't want to overpower anything. We want to be able to taste the incredible meat in the hot dog. We want to be able to taste all the chili and everything else come together. Now, if the ball games did it like this, folks, forget it. They would sell 1 million of these a day. Okay, now that our cheese is in between the bread. What we're gonna do is we're gonna alternate. We're gonna alternate a beef, and we're gonna alternate a pork and beef. I mean, the smell on these dogs, you know that you just don't get that from anything else. You know what? I got a couple of hungry cameramen, and both of them said that they wanted beef. So I can't leave the cameraman out. Put that in there like that and get the last one. Separate that. And this is gonna bake like a casserole. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second here. 45 minutes. I mean, this is looking pretty good here. It's nice and thick. We added no thickeners in this. I know people all the time, I read stuff in this. Oh, we put roux in there, or we put cornstarch. I don't know why you have to do that if you cook it down right. I mean, this, look, I'm not tooting my own horn, but look at this chili. This is like one of the best I've seen, right? I mean, that's what chili's about right there. And those onions are what's gonna make it sweet. All right, let's put this on the dog. You smell that coffee. You could smell it, but you really can't taste it. It's kind of weird. It does like an aromatic effect like no other. What I do is I take the chili and I spread it all over the bread. You want to make sure that you got some liquid on the bread, because this is going to bake in the oven. And you got to be careful how much you put on here too. We're not filling up this whole tray, because then you can't grab it and eat it. So make sure that you wet the bread so it doesn't get too crunchy. I mean, we want it to get crunchy, but we don't want it to get burnt. Now we're going to bake in the oven, 350 degrees. Man, the smell is incredible. And here it is. Man, that's what I'm talking about. And you see how crispy this is, right? Ooh, that's nice. That's going to have a beautiful crunch. Really baked to perfection. All that flavor is together now. The cheese, the hot dog, and the chili. Okay, gang, now we come to the best part of the show, you know, that I like, which is the end, because we're going to start to eat. So let's just recap a little bit about what we did. You know, I thought we were going to have time to put another recipe in here, but this chili takes a little while, and if you follow it correctly, it's going to be worth the wait. Chili's good any time of the year. Summer, I mean, there's nothing like, you know, if you're a skier, there's nothing like spending a whole day skiing and then having a hot bowl of chili down at the end of the slope. I will say that. But chili and a hot dog, game day, perfect, okay? Now, if the Yankees are watching this, I'm free to do a demonstration live in front of a whole audience on this, because once you taste this, folks, you're coming back for more. There's no way of looking at it. So if you look at what we got here, if you pull one of these up, first of all, it's hot as hell. The bun is just soaked with flavor. I mean, there's no getting away around it. Like, you know, when they give you like chili on top of a hot dog sometime at these games, you bite it here, it falls all over the place. The bread soaked up all the liquid. So this is a true chili dog. Now let's take a bite of this, okay? I'm telling you, this is incredible. And look, you have all that flavor in there. It's really just perfect, perfect. Now the cheddar cheese is a big thing too. I mean, you can see the cheddar cheese down there. Look, nobody's getting away. Nobody's getting a free ride here. You get a combination of incredible flavor with the hot dogs, the cheddar cheese. What else would I do? Variations to this dish. I like a bun, like a hot dog bun that's not cut. And I like to cut the center of it, and then I like to pack the chili in there. But this is fine. You could use what you got. All right, now let's go to a couple of these dogs plain. And what we're going to do is add a little bit of the favorite combination of hot mustard, which is jalapeno mustard, and then we got some pickle relish, because we can't escape this show without at least rolling out with the originals. I don't know if you know this, though, a little fun fact, the most popular hot dog, the way people get it at baseball games, is mustard and sauerkraut. So they did a study in 2016. They actually had a survey in all the baseball games. Which hot dog do you prefer the most? I think it was some other company that had the survey. And that was it. It was mustard and sauerkraut. Me, I can tell you, I am not a big fan of sauerkraut. I think sauerkraut will overpower everything. So if you're like a food connoisseur, not sure that sauerkraut is going to be your thing if you're really looking to taste the flavors of everything else. We got some jalapeno mustard here, folks. And if you're a heat lover like I am, really depending on the day, depending on my stomach, lay it on me. So we're going down on the beef hot dog with the jalapeno mustard. And the pork and the beef I found is really good. Just adding the horseradish or some pickled relish or something like that on it. And what's good about this mustard is it's actually got pieces of jalapeno in it. So I mean, you get the ultimate crunch out of there, that bite that's just you can't forget about. All right, now on this hot dog, we're just gonna put the relish. You know, it's funny, I did the last show, got a bunch of emails already about how I didn't put sauerkraut on the dog, and I'm not saying you can't put sauerkraut. It would be great to put sauerkraut on this, but I just feel we take it up a notch here on this show, and that sauerkraut is going to mask the flavor of what we're trying to accomplish. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you know, we're all foodies watching this show, right? I bring you the best food here. Next, what we got in here is some pickled relish. Now this is pickled relish that's been marinated with dill, fresh dill. If you are a pickled relish fan, you know what I'm talking about. You gotta have that flavor of dill in there. Dill is just, I mean, I'll take you over to my garden right now where I got a bunch of dill all over the place. That's how I like it. Now pickled relish, not like the chili, I don't mind if it falls off over the side of my hand and on the plate and stuff like that, because I just expect it. But with the chili, I really want to maintain all that flavor. Like, you know, sometimes you want to escape a little bit from too much pickled relish. It might be overpowering, so you don't care if some drops. It's just like sauerkraut, you know, some sour. This is gonna wrap it up, folks. We got the classic chili dog. And on off camera, we got a lot of hungry people here today. We got a lot of hungry people behind the scenes. They definitely prefer the chili dog. Thank you for watching this fun-filled episode of Taste This TV. I'm your host, Chef Joe Cimino. Remember, there never was any rules on cooking, and there certainly isn't now. Check them out. Our sponsor today, Sahlens Hot Dogs. I don't make a hot dog show unless I use this hot dog, so check them out. Go on the website. They'll tell you exactly where you can buy the product, and you'll learn some great things about other products that they have on there that you might not know about. They do sliced deli meats and stuff like that, which are out of this world, especially their honey ham. Check them out. Thank you for joining this fun-filled episode of Taste This TV. Remember, no rules, my friends. Taste this.